So what I really like about our community is that the average intelligence in the community is significantly higher than the average intelligence of like other communities, in my opinion. So I get to talk to a lot of intelligent people, and one of them is UOFM Doc, who gave me this comment to one of our recent videos that saw quite a success on YouTube. He said, "Hilarious, at the bottom of the screen, it clearly states that ChatGPT can make mistakes. Damn, let's wiggle this thing until we get the answers we want." Yeah, I think it's really an intelligent comment, and it's about this video, ChatGPT-4o, that where I used it to give us a discounted cash flow analysis of 8.94 trillion. And obviously, I mean, the line of questioning, of course, determines the outcome. So I think this is definitely an intelligent comment, and we need to be aware of the implicit biases we put into the models. And I try to minimize the biases I bring into those models, but obviously I'm not, like, I'm only human, so it will happen that I add some biases. And I'm not sure, it's like what was the specific point in time in the video where UOFM Doc issued this comment, but it might be here somehow. So let's watch this part of the video. It's possible, right? It's not the likelihood, I would say, it is more likely than not that this will happen. Why? Because the economic value of bots is just so huge. It costs only a couple of thousands of bucks to produce, so now we are watching this part of the video where I just performed the analysis of Tesla. So Tesla valuation, it gave me a bear, neutral, and bull case. Until this point, I don't think I wiggled it too much. But then I also wanted to have an additional valuation that also considers that bots will see the light of days. And I gave some qualitative arguments why I think bots should be in every Tesla owner's model, because they will happen for sure. And so I added this question. But of course, then we get more biased response, right? Because first I already need to know about bots in order to add it to the evaluation, and there's probably few comments in the 10 reports we gave it as an initial prompt in this video. And we will try to add our own, try to have the same valuation, but less wiggled, right? But first we
Everybody
understand
wants
the
one,
problem.
right?
Would you want one? Yeah, sure, you would want one. And if you only had to pay like $1,000 or maybe 2,000, so they have some margin per year to rent this bot, but this bot can do work like worth tens of thousands of bucks per year. It could go to work for you. It could work on your house. It could build a house for you, right? I mean, it could do all kinds of stuff. If you even if you have a minimum hourly rate of $3 per hour or $2 per hour, $1 per hour, many of us would hire it. Actually, it would completely change the economy. So I think it's likely, if the bot exists, it is likely that we would see billions of bots, if it is possible. But is it possible? Yeah, sure, it's possible. It's already possible. The bots already exist, and we are on an exponentially declining cost curve. So for sure, it's possible. It's cheap to build, and the demand is infinite. The demand for labor, for physical labor, is infinite, right? Because we can change anything. I mean, it's just a function of energy. So I think we will see billions of robots. But if this scenario happens, then, and there's only a minimum monetization, like only $1,000 per year. For this, if this is the cost, like if the cost is maybe twice of that, and we have 50% margin, if you need to pay $2,000 per year, this would be the revenue number now, $2,000 per year to get a bot, then why shouldn't you do this, right? It's less than $200 per month to get a full-time worker that you can command. I mean, if you won't do it, some business owner would do it and just generates infinite revenue for themselves. And of course, the revenue will go down and everything, but only with the more bots we deploy, the less business owners will be able to monetize. But it will still mean that we have billions of robots out there, right? So I think these numbers are pretty bullish already. And in this valuation, it didn't even consider those cases. Let's ask it maybe, just for fun, would this be a possible scenario? So this is clearly like a guiding question, right? I give it some specific numbers. I think it's fine to guide the AI, right? We as humans, we need to guide the AI, otherwise it will just produce anything, right? It is like every prompt that we issue is a guiding question. But this is not only for AIs, it's also for humans, right? If I ask, like if I hire a financial analysis doing valuation for a certain company, then I'm also guiding them, right? It is important. We need to have opinions as human beings, so we need to guide people towards what we believe is right? And this could be like if you have a company, if you have a financial goals or anything, you always need you need to push towards a certain goal in order to get there, right? And by pushing towards a certain goal, you introduce your biases, right? Because you already anticipate coming closer to this goal, right? So this is always like, we cannot do anything. If you want to do any action, if you want to change anything, we need to introduce our biases. But I could have let AI come up with those numbers itself, right? And I will give another test run later on, right? In your opinion, for the Tesla Optimus project, let's see if it even understands what I mean with trillion and anything, yeah? Achieving 1 billion units implies massive adoption across various industries and households. Each robot generating $2,000 in net income annually means significant value creation, either through productivity improvement, services, or cost savings. Yeah, this could be from various applications like manufacturing, logistics, healthcare, domestic help, competition. Yeah, there will be competition. Yeah, I think it's a great analysis, right? I really like ChatGPT-4o. It's really a great model. Okay, so let's maybe one last prompt before we close. This one: plot the stock prices over the next 10 years based on your previous analysis. Oh, it's still. Oh wow! Now it even gives us an Optimus DCF value. Oh my god, it's so great. The model is so great. ChatGPT-4o, it's an insane model. I mean, yeah, the highlight here was more for me to focus on the model's capability and understand my line of thinking. So it understands, because I had issued multiple DCF analysis, it understood that I'm looking for those kind of outcomes, right? So it was already producing it. It is like an eager employee. This was more like the focus of this video than to have a correct valuation of the Tesla bot, obviously. But I think so. I was really impressed at this point by because it. I just asked it another question, but it already knew that I eventually wanted to have a discounted cash flow analysis, so it just gave it to me right away. And it's like a proactive employee who thinks for themselves and is also capable of enough of actually doing some actual work that is useful for me. So I was really impressed by the model's capabilities, more on the psychological basis than say on the financial analysis. But still, I also like the financial analysis, obviously. I hadn't asked for this, but it figured out that I would be interested in this kind of information. Why? Because I asked it for DCF analysis previously. So it anticipated my questions, and yeah, it anticipated the questions, and it just did the analysis without asking me. So net income starting from 10 billion in 24, ramping up to 1 trillion annually by 34. Okay. So you have seen, this is how the model came up with the $8.94 trillion valuation. Currently Tesla is valued at maybe 0.6 trillion or so. I really believe that this valuation is realistic. Otherwise, I wouldn't have included this in the title and the thumbnail and everything. So it's not pure clickbait. It is also like my realistic estimation. I think this will happen. Tesla bots will come, but we can like agree or disagree, right? I mean, if you don't even believe that Tesla bots are coming and the Tesla bots will do useful work, then just don't buy Tesla stock. Okay, let's maybe revisit this and try to find a new valuation with ChatGPT interactively by introducing fewer biases, right? So fewer biases means, okay, now I'm feeding it less data. I just want to have a first principles analysis, because the data then would introduce new biases, right? It's really difficult to do, right? Because now you could argue ChatGPT-4o already has biases, and like we need to make sure that we don't miss the forest for the trees, right? Because every human being, every AI model has biases. So, but it's still necessary for us to ask questions and try to learn and try to get different answers with different kind of biases and build our own truth from the results without be shying away of asking questions in the first place because we want to avoid biases, right? So okay, so let's maybe the best way is to straight away ask it for a DCF valuation of Tesla Optimus without adding any like positive or negative, optimistic or pessimistic biases. Maybe we can even leave it completely open, so it should give us 3 different cases: pessimistic, neutral, optimistic. Maybe even 5 different cases, so it can really play out its own thoughts without me introducing too many biases here. So give me a Tesla Optimus humanoid bot valuation, DCF, for different scenarios. Ranging from very pessimistic to expected to very optimistic cases. Okay, so let's analyze my sentence if it introduces too many biases. So I want to have a valuation, right? This list is like neutral. Give me a Tesla Optimus humanoid bot valuation. Consider different scenarios ranging from very pessimistic to expect to very optimistic cases. You can give your own first principles consideration and use any data you already have. Okay, so let's have a look. I also have prepared something else. I have another valuation by somebody else, and we will feed it this information so that it can critique it maybe. So now let's see, its assumptions are very pessimistic scenario, market size 50 billion. So now it's really like very, very pessimistic, I think, in all cases. Optimistic scenario, 500 billion market size, very optimistic, 1 trillion. But it does not give me information, right, how it came to these from first principle basis. Yeah, that's why. So I really like interacting with those models because, of course, then it's getting more biased, but it also has more information, and the quality of information usually improves if we as human beings guide the model. That's why I would still disagree with these kind of comments that we shouldn't introduce our biases into the model. But okay, I mean, let's go for it. This is what this video is about, right? So this code will calculate DCF values. Okay, so run it for me. Still, I'm really impressed by the model. I mean, it can be whatever we say. I mean, we need to be impressed by its capabilities, right? This is like it gave me this code and analysis in seconds. So of course, it is very valuable. Okay, so we have different scenarios ranging from limited market penetration and high cost lead to a relatively low valuation. The total present value would be 219 million. What did it use as discount rate? In the very optimistic scenario, dominance in the market with exponential growth and minimal issues, where we have a total present value of 18 trillion. So it's even more bullish in the very optimistic scenario than I asked it to, right? And I think, so what I don't like is that they expected, I mean, I don't like it personally, right? This is just my opinion. I'm not shying away of giving my opinion here. In the expected case, the present value of the future cash flows is 38 billion. And we have a terminal value of 62 billion of the humanoid robots segment. So the humanoid robots segment should already be valued at, in the expected case, at 20% of Tesla's current valuation. So either you could argue that currently, let's have a look at Tesla market cap. Of the 550 billion, 100 billion is already like the bot. You could argue this, right? You could argue that the market, the fair value of Tesla would be 450 billion or so, and 100 billion was then added by the market for the bot valuation. Could be. I don't think it's realistic. I think the bot is not even considered by the market because it doesn't produce any revenue, and usually market values things that don't yet produce revenues, products that have not even proven themselves on the market. Usually they don't get a lot of market attention or market valuation. That's why they're still in alpha. That's why investing in those companies, you see something before the market sees it, is so profitable and usually generates higher returns. No investment advice. Okay, but in the optimistic cases, the valuation of the Tesla bot already now at the current state should be 1.3 trillion, already discounted cash flows, right? So the cash flows are not taken literally, so they are discounted back to the present. What is the discount rate? Let me quickly check the discount rate. The discount rate. Revenues. I don't see the discount factors. Param, so it's part of the parameters that we issue into the model. And where are the parameters? Here, okay. Okay, so these are the cases. So we have here a discount rate actually varies. In the pessimistic case, we have a high discount rate of 15%. In the very optimistic case, we have a lower discount rate of 7%. Okay, I think it's a way of adjusting the valuations, right? Because if you have a high discount rate, then present cash flows way more important in your model than future cash flows. So that's why you would consider the future less. So if your discount rate is higher, you consider future cash flows less. So you are less like futuristic, you are more like give me cash now from a mindset, right? And the terminal growth rate here is pretty low. Okay, so what did it assume as cost ratio? The cost ratio is pretty high. The cost ratio is like from the revenue. They went from a top-down perspective, right? They assume a market penetration. So they had this initial market sizes. They assumed the penetration, growth rate of those penetration, and the cost ratio. Like what is the cost? Like from the penetration, the revenue. They have the revenues, and then they need to deduct the costs, right, from the revenues to get to the profit. So this is how they came to this, how ChatGPT came to this valuation. Okay, I think it, in a way it makes sense. This is like with minimal bias, and you see my case that I shared in this video, the 8.9 trillion, it is not even my case, it is just what ChatGPT gave me here after I introduced my biases. And my bias is that the Tesla bot, as I argued here in this video, that the Tesla bot it will happen for sure. I mean, it's not even a prediction, right? Because we already see the Tesla bot working. So the product already works it can already create value for many jobs. Like many jobs could already be automated with the Tesla bot. Now it's just a matter of scaling it up. And we will see units in the millions at least, possibly in the billions. So this is, I mean, if you cannot even find common ground here, I don't know what you're doing on this channel, right? Maybe you should unsubscribe immediately. By the way, if we can't find common ground here, then you should subscribe to our channel because the purpose of this channel, the purpose of Finxter is to help you be on the right side of change. So we want to anticipate the change and then benefit from it. That's why I even address topics like Tesla valuations and stuff, right? Because I believe we will see a future with massive automation. We are in the midst of a robotics revolution where, like in the last 100 years, we have automated almost anything, right? If you go to production factories now, today, in China or even in Germany, sometimes in the US as well, oftentimes in the US, sorry for teasing you, then you see that most of the work is already being done by machines. And this will just continue, right? And now we have just another robot, a humanoid robot that is more intelligent than all other robots we have ever deployed in the industry. And this robot, it already works. It's already walking through factories out there. So this is not future, this is the present. It already works, and now it's just a matter of scaling it up. And Tesla has proven to be able to produce those things quickly and efficiently. Like they already produce millions of units of more complicated cars consisting of more parts than the robot, with heavier weights. With heavier weights means more cost of production, raw material cost. And the other thing is just a software update, right? The more bots we have, the more useful they will become because of training and everything. So in my opinion, we can be pretty sure that like these optimistic or very optimistic cases materialize. Why? Because bots are already out there. This is not even considered in the model. So the very pessimistic or pessimistic case that there is no market, that they won't be produced, and so I don't think they have a high probability assigned to them. They have a very low probability. Even if we have only, say, a 20% probability of this very optimistic outcome, then the expected value would be 20% of 18 trillion plus the probability of the optimistic case, which would then be more than 50% or 60%. So we have, so let's maybe ask it in non-biased questions. Now assign probabilities to each of those scenarios and give me an expected value. So this is with minimum bias, right? I don't tell it to give me any coloring, right? I don't ask it for my to confirm my opinion, I just ask it for its opinion. Okay, so it assumes like a Gaussian kind of normal distributed probability weight, which is also like the most conservative thing you can do. Like it assigns a pretty high probability to what it calls the expected case. But I would say again that the expected case would be more like what it considers optimistic. I think it's expected. I even think the very optimistic case is the expected case. But this is just where opinions differ, right? Okay, now based on this, it runs the calculation. It gives us the expected value of Tesla of 2.11 trillion. So this is how an investor, I think, should approach the things. Now we should individually adjust the weights and probabilities and everything. And we should not take this number literally, but we should of course add our own opinions and own numbers, own assumptions to now with this method come up with our own valuation. But I think it's still a helpful tool for valuation because you can interact with it, right? Now I can ask it. Now I can actually inject my opinion. So everything that comes now will be my opinion. So let's inject my opinion. Okay, now read. Maybe not now. Now I don't even inject my opinion. Now I inject another person's opinion, right? Read the content from the following source and redo your valuation to consider their opinion as well. But I think this is how you now this is definitely biased now, right? This is biased. It is not my bias. It is now the bias of some person on the internet, and of course now everything can get attacked. So now you can add your comments and write, this is very unrealistic and so on. But I mean, at this point, like I don't even want to actually. Maybe we should stop the video here, right? Maybe the video should be stopped here because now we have the unbiased analysis of the Tesla Optimus case of 2.11 trillion. Now it would be a clean cut and end of the video. So maybe you should turn the video off now. Don't listen on, because now it will be highly speculative and based on opinions. Okay, so it could not access the content. So what I will do is just copy everything. I always add these because it is trained on coding data. It knows the triple quotes to be something like a string. So I always, if I copy data from the web, I always use these triple quotes so that it knows, okay, everything that follows is now actually part of a multi-line string, and this is the content it should consider. This is a small prompting trick that I have learned from OpenAI, from a paper in OpenAI. Okay. Now it assumes to incorporate the insights, we'll adjust the assumptions based on their projections and financial outlook. They demand 1.5 million humanoids in manufacturing and logistics by 2030. And the cost per unit projected to decline to 20 to 40K. Yeah, I think definitely yes. Annualized gross revenue of 140 billion, operating profit of 129 billion, discount rate. They will be more optimistic. So the adjusted scenarios, the market sizes starts with 100 billion. So the market sizes get larger now, adjusted with this biased data. They assume a market penetration of Tesla of only 1.5%. And the revenue will then grow by 10% every year. The costs are initially high, but reduce over time. Discount rate of 12%, terminal growth rate of 2%. And then the expected scenario would be the market size of 300 billion. This is annual revenue. I think market penetration is 5%, so they will make 15 billion in revenue. Revenue grow in the first year. Then the revenue growth rate of 20%. The costs are relatively low. We have a discount rate of only 8%, and a terminal growth rate of 4%. very optimistic case, we have a very high margin. Okay, so now it performs the calculations in Python, and okay, there was an error, so they needed to adjust. Okay, they are still calculating. So let's maybe look what they came up with. White paper, Tesla, Optimus. Projected 129 billion annual operating profit for Tesla's humanoid segment, and potential valuation of 10 trillion by 2040. I think this is still very conservative, right? Okay. Now it calculates the expected value. Here it got like the different scenarios. This table, we have a very pessimistic case, present value of the future cash flows, and very pessimistic value, very pessimistic case is 2.7 billion. If we add the terminal value to it, we have like a current contribution to market cap of 5 billion only. In the expected case, the current contribution to market cap should be already as high as Tesla's market cap. So Tesla's market cap is 553 billion, and the total present value here is 478 billion. So it's almost in the same order of magnitude, right? 478 billion is the present value, introduced only by the robotaxi, not the robotaxi, the Tesla bot segment. And the optimistic case, or very optimistic case, here we can see huge numbers. Yeah, I think these numbers can easily happen. We should consider those. Even if they have a low probability, they will skew our valuation, our expected value. And this is how we do the math, right? Because we have unlimited upside, limited downside. That's why in investment we often can make extraordinary gains if we are right on the upside part. And we should always limit our downside. Okay, so the adjusted expected value is now 10.3 trillion. Okay, so overall we now have an unbiased opinion, unbiased analysis of that yields a market cap of, where is it? Okay, here, of 2.11 trillion, and the biased market cap that was based on this person on the internet of 10.3 trillion, right? So we have between 2 and 10 trillion market cap. So it would be like between a 4 and 20x from the current market cap. Of net present value. This is not like a point in the future time, but it is like the net present value is already discounted to the present and probability weighted. So of course it depends on the weights, but I still think it's undervalued. I think, like, this is my opinion, no investment advice. I think in any case I would agree with ChatGPT that it is currently the expected value of the humanoid bot segment is at least as big as the current market cap, probably much bigger. And if we assign probabilities to the different outcomes, we get a much higher value. Like in the ChatGPT proposed a 2 trillion valuation of net present value, so the future cash flows already discounted to the present. It's already 4x valuation that is somehow missing, where Tesla would be 75% undervalued, to what was it, like 10 trillion or so market cap, which would be like almost a 20x. So in this case, Tesla would be 95% undervalued only because of the humanoid robot segment. Okay, so just for clarification, it's a reaction video to the previous one. And yeah, thanks for being part of the channel. If you like our content, then give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of those videos on AI and disruption and disruptive innovation. We just launched a new course in the Finxter Academy. Also check out simply type in academy.finxter.com. Here you can see academy.finxter.com and check out our new course, Hugging Face, running free and open source large language models locally on your local machines to generate text, images, speech, and music. Yeah, as I said, on your machine. It's a great course for prompt engineers, AI engineers. It gives you incredible skills in your Python code, because now in your Python code you can generate all those things. Think of the applications you can now do, right? It's really generating spoken language on your machine. You can have offline applications. You can create your Python applications that offline on your smartphone, for example, I don't know, run like a Babelfish application or so, right? Where you can talk something and it automatically translates it. Your Python app on your phone also translates what you talk into another language, and you can talk to your spouse or your friend or whatever, running a simple through your phone in a different language, and it can talk Korean and anything, right? This is so helpful. This is such a huge value, and AI is currently disrupting so many industries. It's just mind-boggling. And as coders, as prompt engineers, as AI engineers, or just tech enthusiasts who want to try out these technologies and try to stay sharp in the middle of these times of rapid change, I think the academy.finxter.com gives you the tools you need to be on the right side of change. So check it out. Thanks for watching the video. Give us a like and subscribe. Thanks for your attention, and see you in the next video. Bye.